Hi FlossTube, it's Janae. I'm back with an update video. I have a couple finishes and a big, I framed one of my finishes. It's been a while actually because I finished it and then I framed it. So I'm going to show that and then also show you what I've been working on. So let's start with the big finish. Okay, so my new finish is the Hope cross stitch, which I did. It's by Emmy Bishop for Cross and Patch. It's just called the Hope Sampler, and I love how it turned out. I framed it, and I talked a little bit in my last video how I wanted to finish this so that I could put it in the needlework show down in Alexandria, but it didn't work out. I finished it in time. It was framed in time. But it didn't work out because the weekend that I could bring it down to submit it, I was working all weekend, so it just didn't work out. But that's okay. I can maybe submit it another time, and at least it gave me the desire to go ahead and finish it. So I think it turned out really nice. First I'll just kind of give a big view. So I went with the sage green mat and a nice antique gold frame with the filigree. And sorry, there's glare, but this is how it turned out. I put a little bit of like a creamy colored mat behind it. So yeah, the part that you haven't seen is this bottom hardanger part, and I'll show the pattern in a minute, but the pattern is a design to have this be hearts, but if you have been watching my channel for any length of time, you know that I don't really like hearts. So I went ahead and just converted it to diamonds, and I think it turned out nice. You know, it's not as nice as I'd like it, this part I mean, but I think it still works for the piece. So that is the Hope Sampler. Alright, so two other finishes. One is like kind of a fake finish. It's the July Joyful World Sal, and I already showed this to you, but I went ahead and added my initials on the bottom. So that's this finish. And an actual Joyful World finish is November. I love how the peacock turned out. And if you could see, there's a little bit of this here. This is all the same color, but unfortunately I accidentally started a new strand and didn't pay attention to the variegation. But I kind of like how it turned out because it looks a little bit like a wing. And I understand that this line is supposed to be like the wing line, but whatever. I'm just telling myself that so that I feel better about the variegation not matching up very well. So I think this one turned out beautifully. I love it. But isn't that true for all the Joyful World Sals? I just love them. And then I also started to work on December. I went on a little trip and I brought December to work on. And unfortunately, I didn't include the DMC flosses in my bag. So in the middle of the December one, there's white and also 3371, which I was using on other projects, so I hadn't put them in the bag. And so I had to kind of start at the bottom. I usually start in the middle, but I started at the bottom. So this is part of the deer. And I will show you. That's what December looks like. So I did this portion right here. I wanted to start up here and do the antlers or the dove, but both of those were the two colors I had forgotten to bring with me. So that's all right. I Had fun working on the deer, and this color actually is really beautiful. It has some really nice variegation. It's called Wheat Fields by Gentle Arts. I'll just show you again. It has some really nice variegation. I like it. So here's the chart for the Hope sampler. And you can kind of see here on the bottom that it's like giant hearts here. And I kind of played around with the idea of doing it like this and just having it diamonds, but instead I kind of did more of like an interlocking square effect. You can tell they're interlocking by the way I did the dove's eyes. So let me show you again real quick. So you can see here that they kind of cross over each other. You can see that there are these spaces here next to the dove's eyes that are not cut. Anyway, I don't know that I'm really showing that well. That's because it's so big and there's a lot of glare, but hopefully you can see it without me pointing it out. I also worked on Little House Neighborhood for quite some time over the last couple months, and I have some good progress. I finished the house on the top row and I started the trees, and then I decided to start the border. So this is where I'm at. This is a close-up of the top house that I just finished. I like how it turned out. It's pretty cute. And again, I'm doing this 1/1 on, I believe it's probably 28 count. It's turning out really sweet. Now, if you've seen some of my earlier videos, you know that I was thinking about not doing the border. And here's the chart. This is what it looks like. You can kind of see that the border is actually pretty cute. And I was looking at it while I was doing the top house, excuse me, and I thought, well, maybe I will do the border because several of you left comments that I should just do the border. And I think it's really cute. I like it. Okay. But then I started it and I'm like, I don't know. And that's kind of what turned me off of this piece, because I was like, I don't really know if I like this. And I don't want to keep doing it when I'm not sure what to do. And maybe it's just not enough of the border yet. I don't know. I think part of it is that I don't like the curvies, and then part of it is being a smaller piece, I kind of just want to keep it a little bit more simple, if that makes sense. So anyway, that's where I am on this one, and I love it right now. If I do decide to work on this again before my next video, I'll probably go ahead and start working on the bottom house, and then start the border later. So for the top row here, though, I do still have to put leaves in, and then there's like little hills here with squirrels, and I think I am gonna do that. I'm not gonna do the people, but I think I will do, there's like a basket and a rooster, and I think I'll do that. I just don't really like the people, to be honest. So that's kind of where I'm going with that, and then, yeah, like I said, I'll probably work on the bottom row, if nothing else, before I see you next. So kind of see how that goes. Okay, and the last thing I have to show you is actually a new start. So I worked on the Joyful World Sal and the Little House Neighborhood for a good while, and I was starting to get a little bit bored of just regular cross stitch because that was after I had finished the Hope Hardanger piece, and so I was kind of feeling an itch to do some specialty stitches again, I guess. And it's really funny because I pulled this one out, which I picked up at the stitching post. Back when I found out I was moving to Maryland, I came up here to visit the stitching post. This is called White Christmas by the Victoria Sampler. It's probably kind of hard to see since it's white and it's really light in here. But I think it looks really pretty. And the funny thing is that I had pulled this out, and then the next day my mom emailed me to see if this was one that I had, because she had been looking around online and found some companion pieces. There's like a pink one. It's like 4 seasons. This is the winter, of course. It says Dreaming of a White Christmas on here. And she had seen a Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes, I think, which is the spring one. And then there's a summer and an autumn one, and I don't remember what those two are. But I don't know if she bought them, but she was thinking about buying them. But, or no. I remember. She found them in her stash, but she didn't have the winter one. And so she went online and looked and found that there was a winter one. And she said, oh, that looks familiar. I think Janae might have it. And I did. And so that was really funny that she had found hers just when I was starting mine. And so you guys know I'm not a big fan of words on my cross stitches. This one says, like I said, Dreaming of a White Christmas. And one of the reasons I don't like it is because, well, I don't really like the blocky letters. And I don't really like that I can't have it as like a whole winter piece or even like a whole year piece. It's only a Christmas piece. And I kind of want to stay away from that. I like having pieces that work all year round because I don't really take pieces off and put pieces onto my walls very often. So I decided to change it, and I was talking to my mom about this, and she decided to put a phrase on that I thought was kind of a good idea. I liked it, and so I decided to do it too. And I did it in a little script font. It says Holiness to the Lord, and I did the first 5 lines or so, I think. And I actually did the top line twice. So I hope it looks good. I don't remember why I had to do it a second time, but for some reason I had to do it again. I didn't take it out. I actually just cut my fabric and restarted. And this is the wreath, and this is kind of slowing me down a little bit. It's a bit of a challenge. It's not very enjoyable. It's not great working with this Krennic. It's a Krennic High Luster. So that's not great. And also it's, well, yeah, it just, oh gosh, I don't like this Krennic High Luster. It's hard to keep it taut. See, now I'm seeing that some of the pieces I've already finished are loose, which drives me crazy. So anyway, there's that. But so I've kind of slowed down on this a bit, and I haven't actually stitched in a couple weeks, I think, because I just haven't really felt inspired to work on this wreath. I want to work on the part below the wreath, but I really hate counting long distances in cross stitch because I'm always worried that I counted wrong, even though I count like 10 times. So basically I am stuck here. I have to finish the wreath before I can move on. Anyway, so that's my new start. That's what I've been working on, as well as the Joyful World Sal December was also a new start. And I actually have one more WIP that I forgot to show back in my WIP section, so let me grab that and I'll kind of show you the progress I've made. Okay, so this is Liberty's Welcome. I forgot that I worked on it because it was so long ago. I think it's probably been like 2 months since I did a video. And I don't remember how far I was last time I showed it to you, but I think the only new parts that I did were these blue and white stars. Maybe the flag, but I honestly do not remember. So these blue and white stars are really cute. I like them a lot. These little guys are parts of like a flower bouquet that's in a wagon that's down here. So that is My Liberty's Welcome. These yellow stars might be new too. I do not remember how far I was last time I showed this to you. Sorry, I should have looked at my last video, figured that out. And this was a bit of a headache because when I was doing this, I counted this one right and this one right. And then when I was starting to count to move from this one to this one, my eyes actually counted from this one to this one. So this star was like down here, and then everything else was based off of that. So I had stars all the way down to here. I'm like, that's like very weird and off center. But I'm like, well, I think it's right. And then I started doing, so I finished all of them, but it looked wrong. But I didn't think it was wrong because I had counted. And then I started trying to do these, and that's when I figured out this is really wrong. So I had to take out 3 or 4, I think it was just 3 stars because I had essentially just skipped this one. So it was just 3 stars and they kind of came down here and it looked stupid. And I felt stupid. I had to take those out. It was very frustrating, but I put them back in and they look very nice now, I think. So I put this away because I'm not sure where I'm gonna go next with it. I don't know if I'm ready to do the hill, but it has to be done at some point. And actually, after I had finished these stars and this little corn flower or whatever it is, I did sit down and chart out the hill as I would like to do it. So let me show you the chart and then I'll kind of tell you how I changed it. Okay, so this is the chart, Liberty's Welcome by Plum Street Samplers. You can see here that the reason it's called Liberty's Welcome is there's this giant hill under the house that says Liberty's Welcome. So I don't really like that because I understand what Liberty's Welcome means. They're welcoming liberty on the 4th of July, 1776, but I don't know, I just don't, it doesn't really mean anything to me, and it's kind of weird, at least in my mind. I mean, anyway, so I decided that I would rather do something, either I wanted to make the hill smaller, which would be difficult because then I'd have like issues adjusting the border, so I decided that's probably not the best idea. So instead I decided to do life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And so I went ahead and found an alphabet that was a similar height to this one. I don't remember how tall it is. And I charted it out, so it's going to go from here to here. And we'll kind of see how it goes. Maybe I'll work on that before I do my next video. I think that would be cool because I could show you the chart that I charted out. I did it in Excel, but I think it would be cooler to actually see the finished product. So maybe I can work on that next. I'm not sure. I don't know what my plans are. I've kind of been thinking a lot about Hortus viridarium lately, and I think I'd like to work on that, but the problem is the part I'm on right now is a Krennic, and it's very similar to this high luster Krennic. It's not as slippery, but it's still annoying in that it's hard for me to get it taut. And so, and I don't like my thread to be loose, and that's kind of one of the challenges I have with Krennic. So anyway, I have been thinking about picking that up again, but maybe picking up Liberty's Welcome would be a good idea. I think I would enjoy that. The problem is there's like so much of this green hill that I might not even get to the words before I get bored of Liberty's Welcome again. Anyway, that's pretty much all I've been working on. It's actually quite a bit for me. I had multiple finishes. I had a fully finished object, which I think turned out really, really nice, even though it's me saying so. I really like it. So anyway, I hope to see some more videos from you guys, and thank you so much for watching my video today, and I'll see you next time.